Ladies and gentlemen, throughout this video, I'm going to show you how to get a free educational program, one that's probably more valuable than other things that you have purchased because of its efficacy. I'll prove its efficacy as well, not just empty words. We're going to offer you a free trading house as well as Newsbeat member orientation and strategies and everything for free just by watching this video. So we're going to just go ahead and get right into the theme of things, and I just want to sort of talk a little bit humbling about myself, just to explain to you where I came from and where I'm at right now, and what the industry is like. All right, so what the trading room industry is like is it's full of traders who either can make money for themselves or can't make money for themselves. The more famous ones are the ones that can make money for themselves. And they can, flash you, they could show you brokerage, their brokerage total account, but they don't show you, anything else. They could, show you that they made $1 million or $2 million, or some of the subpar ones out there are probably up half a million or less when it comes to the guru side. When people go ahead and they do things like that, really what they're doing is they're shoving a middle finger up in front of your face. Now, I'll explain how it started and why I feel that way. And if you disagree, share with me your thoughts, and I'll share with you free education and everything, and why my program is um, more likely to help you to become successful from a just a simple mathematical perspective. All right, we all first let me just start and say um, we all know that people have failed, and I'm doing this completely off the cuff. I don't have my boyfriend setting everything up for me all nicely, so please excuse me. Um, nor does my wife do that. Anyway, so right now, why don't instead of just talking about it, why don't we just go ahead and just be perfectly straight up with you? 98% or more of traders fail. Some people will argue that it's 95%, 96%, 94%. The really delusional ones will say only 90% of traders fail. It depends on, I guess, how you define failure. I don't consider a trader who's up $100 for the entire year a successful trader, even though he can make an argument that he's up money. Take into account his electric bill and everything, and he's not where he needs to be, even if he's on the right path. 98% of traders fail. Fact. I've been doing this job 21 years, the broadcasting side only 13 years, which only, I mean, making me one of the earlier pioneers of the broadcasting industry. So I've seen it all. Then what happened was it was kind of interesting the other day, just a few days ago. I had the Stones, Los Huevos Grandes, to actually come out to my room and actually ask them a very simple question and said, "Are you green? Not is your account positive or negative at this exact moment?" I actually asked the question, "Are you finding tremendous P&L consistency with my plays?" I ran a poll, and I ran it in my room. The largest room here at T3, may I add. We added a poll, something that other gurus wouldn't do. Why? Because I'm not here to flash you my P&L. Last time I did that, every other guru around me felt emasculated and they were all crying about it. And then we had to remove it. But really, all it does is it causes FOMO. If somebody out there is making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and you're following them and you're not doing it, how does that make you feel? Oh, I'm in that person's room. Oh man, he's up 4 million for the year. How are you doing? Not so well. How does that help you? So I came and I needed to ask the real question: are you finding tremendous P&L consistency with my plays? Very straight up. Not are you slightly green for the year? Not are you up or down for the year? Tremendous P&L consistency. And again, I am hiding the people's name. This is from our new VTF. And I know it shows 75-25, but believe me, more than 4 people answered the question. We are running the largest room here. It just coincidentally was that. And three-fourths of people polled are finding tremendous P&L consistency with my plays. I dare any other guru on Wall Street to ask that question to their members. You know, a guru that's running a room with more than 50 people. I dare them to go ahead and ask that question. Now, why am I highlighting this? Because your success is paramount to if I am able to help you. The fact that I have a very large P&L and a very high consistent P&L, and from what people told me, the highest Sharpe ratio P&L in the industry, that doesn't do anything for you. That's useless to you. And what happens is gurus who suck at their job, not as traders perhaps, but suck at their jobs as broadcasters, will like to show you the statements to draw you in. And you know what happens with those gurus? It's like the revolving door. They have people running in because they think they found something of value. They come in, they buy BS education that's outdated. They buy education that's older than their children. And then they find it, and then they come out the other end. They run away when they can't make money. There's a little door in the middle that keeps spinning based on the marketing dollars pumping in, and it just keeps spinning. And they're retaining about maybe 1 to 4% of their members at the end of every year. So, meaning if 100 people come in, 96 to 99 of them will be no longer be members. But in terms of the business model, that works really well for them because they're just reaming you. They're taking your wallet and they're just like right to your wallet. They take your credit card and they're like swipey, swipey, swipey. You go in, you sign up for a room, you hit up the education, you hit up all these things. All of a sudden, your bank account is sitting there with two black eyes on the floor with a bloody lip and a busted nose. Like, what have you done to me? Don't worry, it'll be worth it, wallet. In the end, it's going to feel better. And then after the wallet finally gets up off the ground, all beaten up, it's like, where are you? Oh no, we went somewhere else, wallet. They couldn't help us. Of course, they like to endearingly say they can't help 100% of people. However, if you round up that number to the nearest 5, 100% of every listen carefully, if you round up to the nearest 5, 100% of every single trading service around here on Wall Street will fail you. Period. Fact. It's not a sexy fact. I'm supposed to just tell you how great everything is if you buy this next product. Don't. Don't buy anything. Take it all for free. I put in updated education that's working right now. You don't even have to join my open house. You'll derive value from just watching my videos. I promise you. I think you'll get more value in the room, but go ahead and take advantage of it. 2 hours of education that's working today in today's market. Not outdated stuff where this is a candlestick and this is what da 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 da. And all the education that people brand as their own that were stolen and written by other people, like every other product out there. Sound familiar? And it still fails the majority of people. Sound familiar? Why am I telling you this is because I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm not here to do this orientation to tell you everything's going to be okay. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you 3 secrets of mine that are going to help you get you to that next level. And you're like clickbait, clickbait with your 10 thumbs. Clickbait, clickbait. You can't wait to see what I have to say next. How about I don't BS you? How about I don't lie to you? How about I don't waste your time with nonsense? How about I just speak honestly with you and figure out if, this is for you or this is not for you. And you can make your informed decision and everything is free and will cost you nothing. And you could go ahead and proceed. I had to evolve myself as a trader, not as just a trader, excuse me, as a broadcaster to get people to answer like that. No other, and again, we have by far the largest room here at T3. We have a very large trading community. So I know it looks like 75, 25%. It looks like I could have asked for people. No, I threw this poll in the entire room. 3/4 of our traders, and a lot of these 25% traders were here for less than 2 weeks. But let me tell you, 3/4 of the traders here are finding tremendous P&L consistency. 3/4. It sounds like a lie. It sounds like BS. I know. Heck, if you told me that 5 years ago, I would be like, nonsense. I've been running trading rooms since, wow, '07? right around there, like '08. I mean, wow, no way, that's impossible. But it isn't impossible. And I'm going to tell you how I accomplished that. And I had to evolve what I was doing because what I was doing was insufficient to hit those numbers. What I was doing as a broadcaster was insufficient. I was part of the problem. You see, not many gurus like to say, look at themselves in the mirror. Because if I look at my P&L right now, my consistency, I could do no harm. I could just look at the numbers and say, wow, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Wow, I'm doing awesome. I don't need to change anything I'm doing. Look at my numbers. People should be begging me for education with those numbers, right? And that's what people think in the guru industry. So what I did was I created something called the Ask Mark. What we do is we literally go through people's problems and solutions and share them. And by going over thousands and thousands and thousands of trader problems and solutions and answering them in real time with a mentorship, not the BS mentorship which you just got ripped off for recently, not that $20,000, $30,000, $5,000, $100,000 mentorship which actually accomplished nothing for you but overloaded you with information, pumped you up with fluff, left you in the real world, and then watched you fail. Not that. We're not talking about that. But we are actually talking about something else. So we are actually talking about getting towards the next level. And I want to do that for you. I want to do that to get you to the next level. And I believe that I can get you to that next level. I really do. I really believe that I can get you to that next level, and I really think I have the best shot at it. By going over your problems, you can write to me approximately 7 days a week. I won't promise you this because 7 days a week, there's only room to let you down from there. But approximately 7 days a week, I'm actually running videos with the room, answering questions beyond what I do during the day. Traders can find consistency. It took me a while. Took me a while. I was used to having 95, 96% of people fail or disappear after the first year. I had to change what I'm doing. I'm not the same person today as I was last year. I'm sure I could ask any of the members of the room, they'll agree with me. I am not the same broadcaster now than I was a year ago. I had to evolve and improve myself. Guess what? I still have to evolve and improve myself. You know, I'm not gonna hire Larry, Mo, Larry, and Curly to assist me on my broadcast to flood you with subpar traders acting like I'm adding value by putting, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing with a mic in front of their face. I could do that if I want. It would make my life easier, but it would dilute the product more than what you used to do with your parents' alcohol after you drank some and added water to make the bottle look full. Was that just a Melnick thing? Kids. Anyway, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you what I have done to address some of these issues. 98% of traders fail. That is a fact. And I'm going to show you one of the things that I've done to get to that level by just literally dragging you along and answering emails. Now, some of these emails will be positive, some will be negative. And negative in terms of, not negative in terms of like they're Debbie Downer, not positive, oh, look, I'm full of life. But they are written from members of the room. I take them in real time. T3 has access to my emails. I'm just going from the top and just going down. And I will actually show you what an ask mark actually looks like. So, hi, Mark. Thank you for answering my question this morning. Yes, so just I do videos every morning, 7 days a week, and most nights, 7 days a week, most regarding Street Smart Mobile and going back to work. I didn't want to elaborate in the chat room about using that platform without using up everybody's time. You're live. I had a total hip replacement on May 8th. And long story short, a year and a half ago, we had a financial advisor who was making more money off of our money than we were. Oh, sounds like every guru in the industry. Nothing wrong with that. Just if you want to feel better at it, just look at your financial advisor's P&L. if you need to feel better about that. My wife suggested we pull our money and learn how to play the stock market. Your wife must be like mine, always right. I've been like a sponge ever since. I found you last November and started watching your videos and all the free classes T3 had to offer. Joined your room in March with the help of Amber. I took the pristine trading class and a lot of what you had to offer in the portal. I work a lot of hours and I get in as much time learning that I can. I got accounts, charts, trading platforms set up, and after the surgery, I started paper trading and watching and listening to everything in the room, referring to our Newsbeat live room. I started trading live on June 22nd and had 3 wins and 1 loss on the first day. Then Schwab tagged me as a pattern day trader. Never dreamed I would receive that honor on my first day. They even sent me a letter explaining what pattern day trading is. So I framed it and displayed it proudly on our home office wall. I did not expect this email. That's hilarious. And by the way, I go through these emails in real time with you guys, so like I'm reading this for the first time as well. During my first month, I traded for 15 days, made 46 trades, 37 wins, 9 losses, and got in 5 days of sport fishing in Alaska. My account is now up 5.3%, and I like those numbers. I'd like to thank my wife, you, Mark, and my new T3 Live family for all the help and guidance given to me along this journey. I will be retiring from my job of 42 years in February 2021 and feel I found a new home that will enable our hopes and dreams to come true. I'm an avid outdoorsman and didn't know if I was able to handle sitting in our home office in front of 3 monitors all day, but wife says I have a short attention span, so this trading platform is best to me. Oh, your wife says that too? Are you sure we're not married to the same woman? Anyway, it's working out perfectly and I enjoy it a lot. I have a few vacation days left until I retire and will be using those to stay home and trade, as well as taking care of the honey-do list. You got those too? Bro, I think we're married to the same woman. Alaska, though? She must be like the human flesh. Looking forward to being in the room full time in February. Thanks again, everyone, for all your help. Have a great day. Notice, I just want to highlight something here. He says, thanks again, everyone, because the Newsbeat Live Room is a community that does help everyone. We do help everyone get to those levels and everything. Now, normally, through these Ask Marks, I address an issue and a problem. Obviously, there's not really a problem there, but that's what it is. All right, let's see what this is. Next one. Okay. Well, whoops. Wrong one. That's the last one. Here we go. Here's the new one. Hi, Mark. I was doing some spring cleaning in my old chest of trading articles I've collected over the years and found below. To me, it was refreshing, but more importantly, speaks to many things you already preach to the Newsbeat community. I do not take credit for any of the information listed below, just sharing with the community what I thought to be extreme valuable reminders to us as traders and human beings. Thank you for all you do as always. All right, so let's see what this. Oh, I see. You wrote something else. At the bottom of the email, but I guess I'll share it. And again, these ask marks, a lot of them, just so you know, as I go through them now, a lot of them are literally traders saying, I'm having problems with this. This is my situation now. What would you do in this situation? And of course, from anything I could legally answer you with, I will. And that's a lot of the S marks are like that as well. But people go out of their way to help each other in our community. And nobody in the room knew I was going to make this a public video today. So I just thought I would take you along for the ride with what I really do every day. This is what I do every day, besides for running the Newsbeat live room. I mean, it's a Sunday now, but you get the picture. And oh, by the way, if you sign up for this open house, you can write me an email and I can address it too. Things we sometimes forget as traders. No grammar here, just some thoughts about trading, living a peaceful, meaningful, and fun life. Trading can be stressful, but the stress comes from us and the pressure we put on ourselves to perform every day. Our self-worth should not be tied to our P&L. That's a good one. Self-worth should not be tied to our P&L. Trading can be gratifying, but it is not to be confused with real life. Life is more satisfying if you're actually living it. Instead of obsessively looking for the next great trade, the best trades and people usually reveal themselves when we don't expect them to be there. Our job is to recognize the great opportunities and then pounce at the right time to maximize our chances of success. So keep in mind, this trader put this together to help the other people around him. Just to give you an idea of what the Newsbeat Live community is like, I am honored to say somebody like him trying to help others is not a unique situation. And I'm honored to say that and grateful that he's writing this email. Just want to point that out. And again, as I'm saying, all these emails are unread. I'm literally just copying and pasting them and just leaving out the name at the end. That's it. To have anonymity. All right. We're supposed to put our emotions aside when we trade. It's difficult to flip the switch and be an emotional, caring person after the market closes. Don't neglect your kinder side. And by the way, what I'm doing now is how I get the majority of people consistent in my room. Um, I there. Um, um, we're supposed to put our emotions aside when we trade. It is difficult to flip the switch and be an emotional, caring person after the market closes. You could tell right now, right? Some of you are laughing. You could tell right now that I haven't read this email before, right? Um, don't neglect your kinder side. While you try to be the big swinging children's swing set trader, the people who care about you will hopefully remind you of what is truly important. By the way, he didn't know that I was going public with this, so appreciate it. And maybe more importantly, you will listen and hear that message because losing money is easier and less painful than losing important people. Losing money is easier and less painful than losing important people. Trading can be lonely if you surrender to it. Trading can become unhealthy and can be the most seductive mistress, but the love is always one way. Someone wise once told me once, don't love something that won't love you back, and the market loves no one. I love that line. Don't be seduced by her charm, because she has broken many a good man before us, and the biggest egos are usually cut down first. Were you married? Did you date my ex-wife? Computers are programmed to do our job for a good reason. We are human. We have flaws, and in this business, it is our emotions which are called the enemy. Emotions can be tough, but neglecting them is more difficult to overcome. Emotions are more rewarding, okay, maybe more disappointing too, than monetary gains or losses. An online trading community can help alleviate the loneliness of trading and put you in touch with some amazing professionals with great information to share. But don't forget to think for yourself it is your money. No one is going to care about it as much as you do, but really, it is just money. I have made many friends on this online trading community. I used to think only losers made friends online. I'm glad I have kept my eyes, mind, and heart open and my greed in check. Sitting in a chair all day is not what our bodies were designed to do. Get up and walk around the block, meditate, sit on an exercise ball, do some push ups, get the blood flowing. Just be alive somehow. Don't let the market suck the life out of you. Very good advice there. 3 day weekend shouldn't be spent at your computer staring at charts. Jonesing like an impatient lover to spend another hour together. The market will open again. It always does. Try to chill. Drink some beer or wine. Smoke a bowl. Whatever you do. Just relax. Just don't put crack in that bowl. Put Rice Krispies in. Life and the opportunities it offers 7 days a week are more important than the next trade. Try to keep your priorities in check. It's okay to love what you do, but trading, business, money is how you support the things you love and enjoy, not what you should love first. Don't forget how to be a kind and caring person. Amen. It isn't easy, but it can mean so much more than another zero to your net worth. Love the important people in your life first, not the pursuit of wealth, riches, and all the associated bull. Not that those things can't be fun, because I still want to own a Ferrari one day. I guess that is all for now. Thank you. That is an absolutely beautiful email. Thank you so much for putting that together. And yes, I could not agree more with what you're saying. Appreciate that. What's this? Hi, Mark. I haven't written you in a while, but with an open house coming or already started, if you don't get to this until later, I wanted to write again. Due to the change in meeting times as well as my schedule, I don't get to join the evening meetups like I used to many months ago. I, of course, still watch all of the recorded videos, though. So all these Ask Marks that we do at night, they're all recorded in the Newsbeat portal, so you'll never miss them, by the way. First, I really feel for you having a 1 in 5-year-old at home during COVID. 5 years ago, I had a 1 in 5-year-old, which was challenging enough, but I didn't have to deal with it during a stay-at-home order. I know that these open houses wear you down as well, so I pray that you're able to find some time to renew for your own well being. Secondly, I've said it before, but you are a blessing to everyone in the room. You have a heart to help others, and I thank the Lord for it. The 75% you help to be consistent is low. I wasn't able to be in the meeting when you took that poll, so you could add another. And I'm there. All right, so he's also saying there are others that are consistent as well that weren't counted as well, so who aren't on at night. So while I know that you are weary right now, I pray to continue to remember all of those that you have helped and what you're doing is making a difference in people's lives. Look, I know right now I'm reading this thing and I'm thinking to myself, you guys think I probably lined this up tonight. I promise you, I came with my Knicks jersey and no shorts or underwear on. No, it's company policy that I wear pants. And I'm just literally going down the email list, by the way. Just I know it almost seems like I lined this up, but I was actually hoping to get to somebody's problem. Somebody write me an email with a problem. Okay, there. Um, so while I know that you are weary right now, I pray to continue to remember all those that you have helped and what you're doing is making a difference in people's lives. I just wanted to take the opportunity to lift you up. I'm so blessed to have somebody like you write me this. With that said, I want to turn to those in the room who are struggling. Whether you're new or have been with us for some time, if you are struggling, then I want to offer some suggestions. If you are serious about becoming consistently profitable, stop doing what you have done before. Again, this is only for those who are struggling. Listen to what Mark tells you and follow it to the T. Do not deviate from what he tells you and stop trading your own setups if they don't work, period. Mark will show you the path, but you will need to put in the time to study, practice, and make the recommended changes. I'm a very disciplined person, so I always take everything Mark says and applies it. I'm also very analytical, so I naturally apply it to my trading as well, knowing what I should continue doing and what I should change. If you're serious about becoming consistent, I suggest you seriously treat this like a business. I don't have to pay the bills with my trading right now, but I still put in a lot of time in learning, analysis, etc. Please watch the master video several times if you haven't already. So this master video, just so you know, is in the description of this video. Watch it several times, it will help you, and we actually apply those things in the room. So whether you want to join the room or not, you can still derive value. You'll derive a lot more value in the room, but you could still derive value just by reading the links in this description to the video, to the master video. So take advantage of it. It's actually inside this video right now. Practice the methodologies in a demo account to find what you do best before using a live account. Once you've found something you do well, only trade that setup using the Newsbeat names each day. Do not deviate from do not deviate from the setup or names. However possible, hold yourself accountable to stick to the plan. If that means logging on to demo or logging off, then please do so you don't have the discipline to wait or take good setups. Speaking of plans, make one and review it each day as a reminder to stick to it. Mark puts in a lot of time in helping the room, so please give back to him by putting in the time and follow exactly what he tells you and nothing else. For those on the cusp of turning profitable, I'm assuming, stick with it and follow the rules. There will be winning trades, winning days, and an occasional losing day. As long as you're following the strategies and taking the Newsbeat names, the probabilities are in your favor. As long as you're following the plan, don't sweat a loss. You're not going to be perfect, but you'll be successful over time following Mark if you diligently trust and take the setups with discipline. Lastly, for those who are profitable, I pray that you will be charitable and help those who are in need, for there are many in this world right now. If you don't already, please find a group or someone who is in great need and give to them. As a giver, I'm certain that you will be blessed as much or more than the receiver. Mark, again, thank you for everything that you give to this room. I know that you wouldn't do it unless you deeply cared. I pray that the Lord blesses you with renewed strength during these trying and tiring times. I love you much. I love you too. Again, just one of those emails that, again, like I never really expect to get emails like this, but they are really, they're just really humbling. So, yeah, thank you. Okay, next email. Here we go. Dear Mark, hope you are well. How do we distinguish the Newsbeat names slash volume names and the other 9 names that you post every morning in terms of strategy? I tried to post a few times in the room, but not able to get the answer. Thank you and good day. So, by the way, when I ask questions, I'll usually put like minus and equal signs in the room because I am focused on the market. So, for those on the orientation side, I do come out and, I try not to talk. I try to focus on bringing us an idea. I highly suggest if you are in the room and you're trying what we do, that you demo account it for the first time. I'm not even saying that for legal reasons, which legally is the only thing I could tell you to do, but I'm saying it just honestly because if this is going to be your new home, approach it the right way. Make sure. Don't just jump in. There's probably things that are not clicking for you. You probably don't have the right chart setups right away. And definitely watch the master video a few times before trying any of our strategies. They're all there. We offer it to you for free. We don't just show you consistency and then come and tag you for another $2,000 on top of a subscription to buy a subpar education. Um, so between the Newsbeat names and volume names and the other 9 names, um, I'll say this. I'll say this. Um, the 9 names are just the 9 names that I literally keep on my chart, and I'll show you it. So I use TC2000. So I use TC2000. I'll remove my face for a second. And I literally have 9 charts that I have up on another screen that I focus on. So what I do is I literally share the 9 names on my screen. Not only that, for members, I do share a link if you want to copy this layout. If you have TC2000, you get to copy this layout for free. I share it with you. And it has all my technical indicators on each one and everything that I'm looking at on the other screen. Very valuable tool. So that's the 9 names, the 9 charts that he's referring to. It literally refers to these 9 names that I'm watching on an intraday basis. And these names can change, Bob on Netflix and Nutanix and Space and the Qs and Spiders and those names are always changing. So that's what he's referring to. The Newsbeat names tend to be my higher conviction ones out of the list. So if I saw a good setup in a Newsbeat name and a good setup on a volume name, I'm probably going to opt for the Newsbeat name based on the setups and based on the methodologies in which we teach you. All right. So that is how you distinguish them. You focus on the Newsbeat first, uh, followed by the ones afterwards. All right. Somebody actually wrote in with a problem finally. You asked, so I'm writing. So you have at least one problem email. Thank you. We tend to get more problem emails. Like I generally don't have to ask for them, just so we're clear. It's just a coincidence that we had a few like really touching, loving value emails on top of that. But yes, problem emails are very valuable as well because what ends up happening is traders who have issues, their problems end up having problems you have, whether you realize it or not. And by going through thousands and thousands and thousands of trader problems, I'm more likely to address your problem and help you solve a problem that didn't even come through yet. That is why, and that is, in my opinion, why we were able to do this with finding that 3/4 of our traders are tremendously P&L, finding a tremendous P&L consistency with my place for that reason. All right. I know it sounds magical. My jaw almost broke on the floor, like Slim Shady. all jaws to the floor. Like that's what happened to me. Like it felt like I broke my bottom teeth when I saw that number because honestly, it was so unbelievable. And I'm used to having, just like every other room here on Wall Street, I'm used to having 90+% of people fail, or after a year they leave for whatever reason. Is what I consider failing, by the way. I mean, I'm sure some people have life situations, but again, not enough where people should keep signing up. That's why we have the highest retention rate here as well at T3. But okay. I'm struggling to visualize how to make an exit plan for a Newsflow loser in the worst case scenario. Beautiful. Could you walk us through a stock that you enter on Newsflow and just goes against you right after you get in? Perhaps you could just give an example to illustrate your thought process and how to plan ahead of time for the most you personally would lose on a typical Newsflow name. This is a very loaded question here at the end because you're saying how much would I lose on a typical Newsflow name? There is no typical Newsflow name. And not only that, I actually gave a chart recently, sir. Did you actually watch this video? I see you in the room now. Did you actually watch this video? Where we literally show you what kind of news flow has conviction. So going back to you're about to watch it. I respect that. See, so it's funny that I actually addressed your question. I just did this video on how to read news flow. And basically, if a company has a tweet, it's always bullish if it comes directly from the company, not from like a Citron or whatever, but if it's a company tweet, it's always bullish. If it's a deal with a current issue like police body cams, COVID-19, a major disease, etc., it has a 3 to 5 conviction. If it's a company exploring a potential buyout, it's 4 to 5. If it's a company getting a patent, just a generalized patent, it's a 1. However, if it's a generalized patent with COVID-19, it goes rates higher. If it's a CNBC pump, like a CEO interview, like John Nigerian, aka Ponytail, great guy, by the way. I'll rate that as like a 2 or 3. If it's a 13D filing, I explain it in through the video. And again, if you're joining the open house, I'm not sure if you'll have access to it because it's in the Newsbeat portal. I think you have a special portal, so I'm not sure you'd have access to it. But all Newsbeat Live members get access to this video where I literally tell you how to trade the news flow. And this video just came out over the weekend, so it's kind of hilarious that you just wrote me this email. And that's what I mean by loaded question. So when you say, how much would you personally lose on a typical news flow name? There, like, like when Neo comes up to that kid with the spoon inside the Oracle's house, and Neo comes up and is like, Ugh, what are you doing over there? And the little kid looks up at Keanu Reeves and is like, you want to know the trick? There is no spoon. And he's like, oh, thanks. And, you remember the Matrix one? Anyway, so there is no typical news flow play. There is no typical news flow play because the news flow could be any one of these things. So going back to your question, how much would I be willing to lose on being added to a major index? I don't know, $50,000 to $75,000. I didn't have anything close to a down day like that this year, nor did I lose on any of those plays, and I crushed them. But I'd be willing to lose a lot more on something like that, as opposed to like a patent. Just showing you the extreme examples and everything in between. So asking me what I'm willing to lose on a typical news flow play is there's many answers for that question, which I just explained. Now let me answer the first part. Now let me work backwards. Now you're asking, well, you're struggling to visualize. So this is the visualization of how to make an exit plan. I think you're like breaking even or slightly positive on the news flow last I checked. I don't know how you're doing now, but he's struggling to visualize how to make an exit plan. You want to know your exit plan? Or excuse me, I can't legally tell you. You want to know my exit plan? I mark it in when I buy something. I need to buy something. I can mark it in a news flow play, and I'm sitting there with my finger on the sell button. Something feels a little weird. Out. Usually, like patent news out. If it's like this company has a working vaccine for COVID-19, and I buy it and it goes down a little, I'm not saying that I would move the stock by buying it, but I just might slam the living expletive, expletive, expletive out of that stock. And again, so I'm just showing you it depends on the scenario. And I know traders like things very black and white. Traders love black and white. You buy here, you go here, and you stop here. And I know you want to hear that. I know it. But guess what? 98% of people that fails for. I know you will see testimonials from the 2% of people, which probably 9 out of 10 of those people who wrote the testimonials are probably no longer traders because they blew up and got lucky. By the way, so when you read a testimonial, you want to know the funny thing about the industry testimonials? Most of those are traders who failed. So I'm not going to BS you and tell you that, I'm going to show you 3 easy tricks or 1 easy. No, I'm going to show you something that's working right now. Everything that I do might not work in the future. Welcome to trading. The market evolves. Do you think your strategy should stay the same if the market is evolving and changing? Do you agree that the market is evolving and changing? Well, I don't even think that's a question that garners an opinion. Why shouldn't your strategies change and evolve? Tell me that. So what we do here in the Newsbeat live room, when I show you the master video, those are strategies that are working today. In a month, in a day, in a week, in 6 months, in 3 months, whenever it's needed, I might do another master video to update you with what's working now. And that is likely, and if I update you with a video that's working in the future, if I do one, it means some of the things or all of the things or a handful of the things that are working now that I'm sharing with you no longer work in the future. I just don't have an ego. So I admit that the stuff I do now is inevitably 100% going to suck in the future. Just like every other guru's education slash mentorship slash strategy in the industry. The only difference is, again, I'm being honest with it. And how about another dose of honesty? I need to get better at what I'm doing. If I don't evolve, you won't evolve. There's still people who are failing in my room. Yes, I am the only room on Wall Street where the majority of people succeed. Period. I don't even think that's a question for any room that has, you know, as large as ours. It's a fact. I am showing you how I accomplish that by admitting that I have to get better, by admitting I have to do strategies that work now, by admitting that I need to constantly be on top, pressed up against every single trader every single night and help them through their issues. And this is how I accomplish them. I'm really giving you the playbook. I'm giving every guru out there the playbook right now. Do you think I care if they copy me? Please copy me. Please help people around you really turn successful instead of being one of those swipey rooms. Really, please, I beg you, please help the people around you become successful. Wait, you don't think, running rooms for 13 years, you don't think I've failed people before? I've let down people before who are trying to become successful? Or is it easier to say that it's 100% your fault because look at my P&L? No, we're both in the same boat on this. If you fail, yes, it is partially your fault. But yes, maybe not from a legal, perspective, but yes, it is my fault as well. I let you down. If you're not consistently profitable, what am I doing to correct that? What is your guru doing to correct that? Is your guru sitting there answering your emails personally every single night, doing everything he can while you're sitting there struggling to pay your bills, struggling to make money, making excuses to your boyfriend, making excuses to your girlfriend on how you're going to pay the bills and how trading is the right job while they're telling you to quit and get a 9 to 5 job, which you dread? While the guru is sitting there, making out with somebody on the beach? Seriously, like I'm not putting anyone down. I'm keeping it real. What are they doing when they fail you? What are they doing when your P&L's not there? I'll show you what I'm doing when my members are not there yet. I'll show you. This is what I do when my members are not there yet. What are you doing? So going back to your question, you could always be ready to have a market order sell, but I would definitely watch the video, sir. I think it's going to answer a lot. It depends which one of these situations are happening. It depends which one of these situations are happening. And we go in detail on all these things. And if you're a member, you get access to probably the only how to read newsflow content video on the planet. I don't think you'll find anything like that on Wall Street. It's unique. This content is all unique. And you know what? You know how much it costs you? I could put. I have the largest room here, not to sound like a cocky SOB, but I could tag $100, $200 for these videos. And what? I'm not stupid. I know that 95% of my room will gobble it up. I know I could sit there and just create a huge paycheck. You want to know why my room loves me? Because I don't nickel and dime them for every 2 steps they take. These other services, it's like you drive through like a toll booth and then bam, it's like you're right at the Verrazano Bridge. If you don't know what that is, look it up and look up the tolls. And then all of a sudden there's another fee, and then you come and then there's another fee, and then you go and you're trying to get acclimated and they say you didn't do well because you didn't drive through this toll booth. How about a room that really tries to give you everything possible when you're a member? Education, mentorship, updated strategies that are working in the current environment, not diluting the room with a subpar trader slash broadcaster, not flashing a P&L in your face to cause you FOMO because to make you feel bad like you're not accomplishing anything, and then all of a sudden you blow up after looking at somebody's P&L because you tried to hit the gas pedal when you feel that you should because they are, and then you blow up and then they tell you you're stupid or bad for not making the money, or at least make you feel like you're stupid or bad for not making the money. Does that sound familiar? That is not this service. And I'm trying to explain this to you, and I know you guys in the Newsbeat live room, I know people in the Newsbeat live room know this already, but this is an orientation video, so I'm trying to um, show you. Okay, here's an email. Mark, hope you're doing well. My name is Dr. Lennox Forrest, licensed psychologist. I'm thinking about joining your service. I am honored. I would love to have a licensed psychologist here, considering that I am an unlicensed psychologist and I'm the director of trading psychology here at T3 Live. I will tell you that I am humbled and honored that you are even emailing me considering joining our service. I have read, I'll make up the number, thousands of psychology reports, journals, studies, everything from the diet of psychology to every aspect that I can find from psychology, from the German studies to the European studies, which I find superior to the US studies, even though there's some good ones here, just my 2 cents. I read them all. So let me say, humbled and honored, thank you for reading and emailing me out. I went in on the SPY trade, but it tanked poorly. SPY July 340 calls. What are your thoughts on it now? If there's anything I can do to help you, especially with psychological pointers, please don't hesitate to let me know. Everything. Anything that you think I could help other traders with from psychological pointers, um, please. So the spider calls, the 340 spider calls. So let's start here. So first of all, on the 340 spider calls, first of all, they expired this week, and second of all, it was demonstrated as a lottery ticket that I felt could go up potentially 2,000%. Now, what happened? After I did the video and it opened up on Monday here, the calls went from 20 cents to about 40 cents, I think down to 10, 15 cents to wherever they are now. So I'm not exactly sure where you bought them from. They definitely did not go up 2,000%. I think at best they went up 100% from Monday, and then they just started like really hovering and not really doing much after. It's going to depend on what the spies do. From this perspective, it is a lottery ticket, which generally for me has the aspect. I mean, it was a 15-cent call when I gave it out when I talked about it. I believe it hit 20 cents on the day after I was talking about it. So like closed at 15, opened up at about 20. So I'm not exactly sure what price point you're in at, but by no means has it moved 2000%. Like by no means has that happened. So basically you're asking me what are the chances that the spiders run to 340 like over here by Friday? Um Low, like a lottery ticket I would say. Definitely not as sexy or conviction worthy as a Baba play. However, I did do a video on it. It's a great question. I see the market up right now. I see the futures up right now. Not a lot. I mean, for the spiders to run $18.28 this week, you would have to average like $3 and change on the spiders every single day, 360, 370 on average a day to the upside. On the spiders. Anything can happen. A stimulus package can happen. That could be a cause of that. There are other things that can potentially help. The Fed could potentially pump in $1 trillion. Those are things that could help that cause. But again, in terms of this, I wouldn't actually look for the spiders to get to 340 at this juncture. At this juncture, I would just look at it more like um, a lottery ticket like it was, but if you're up 50% or 20% or even down 20 or 50%, to me that's acceptable. Acceptable. Keep in mind that these calls opened up at 20 cents the day after I did the video. So when I'm dealing with like a very low cheap option like that, it was much different than the Baba video, which some people made like 3,000% of their money. Um, these were just more like lottery calls. And I do want to point out another thing on the earnings side that you do have some major names reporting this coming week, including, names like Tesla. We could go over some of them together. And the reason why I show you this is a surprise earnings in one of these things could move the spider. So you have names like IBM right here reporting. That's a big one. Let's see, that's on Monday after the close. You have Coca-Cola, which doesn't really move the market, but definitely a big company. Coca-Cola will be a big one. Some of the banks reporting. Let's see, something really big, hopefully. Interactive Brokers, they should be doing real well. United Airlines, not super big there. Not like market moving big, even though keep in mind if United Airline comes out with a huge surprise, it could shock the market up if people think that people are flying again. Again, just pointing it out. Let's see what else is reporting. Nothing big there. After the close on Wednesday, we got Chipotle. That's a good mover. LVS, are people going back to casinos? Let's see what they have to say. And of course, Tesla will be a huge gauge. Tesla, I believe, could move the market. This could definitely, like, if people are just going out buying all these electric vehicles, this could move the market. That's going to be a huge one. Whirlpool, appliances, people buying appliances, more people at home, appliances more likely to break. Are they buying more of them? That'll be interesting. AT&T, AAL, very big one here as well. Let's see, anything else? Twitter won't move the market, but a fun name to trade on earnings. And let's see, I'm just looking at all the earnings names for Intel can move the market, INTC. And let's see, and we'll just look at Friday morning. And yeah, Triton, Schlumberger, Verizon's a big one, obviously. Okay, so you do have some names reporting. Again, it's really hard to say. Yes, it is a very bold call on those spider calls, so it will be very interesting to see if we get there. And again, to have a licensed psychologist in the room would be honored and humbled for any help that you would bestow upon us um, in the Newsbeat live room. Okay. Hello, Mark. And by the way, we do this every night privately for Newsbeat Live members. We do private Newsbeat shows for Newsbeat Live members. So these types of videos that you see now, are not just trying to make a splash for the open house that's coming up next week. If you want to try us out for free, there's a link in the description. But just pointing out, this is what you get, and you have full unfettered access to me to have me address your question, and I address it anonymously by hiding your name. Hello, Mark. I'm a finance major student, and I'll be finishing my last year of my bachelor's degree. Congratulations. Finance major and bachelor degree? Wow, that's going to do absolutely nothing for your trading. But congratulations. College degrees, they look nice when people hanging them up on walls, but get those like sexy frames. They have like the oak wood frames. I mean, those look beautiful. Okay, let's go on. All right. However, I am leaning more towards trading than working for a banker company. I'm a little bit lost on what to do, to be honest. I want to trade full time, but I also want to finish my school because I only have 1 year left. Definitely finish your school because you came so far. Just from a psychological standpoint, maybe the previous writer will back me up on this one. Just from a psychological standpoint, it's very important to finish what you put forward with. It will help your drive and determination as a trader, even if you don't use anything. My suggestion is definitely finish off that year, even if you want to be a full-time trader. Anyways, I finally found the right person to follow in this field. You're an amazing trader, and more so, an amazing person that cares a lot about other people's success, which is very rare in this industry. Thank you. I've always been interested in trading, but life is busy and I was not able to put in the time to trade. A few years back, when the big boom of weed stocks, I was listening to the wrong people and I lost around $8,000. $8,000, that's a lot for weed stocks. Heck, when I was in college, I used to lose that a year just on weed, and they didn't even offer me any stocks. Yeah, ouch. But that never made me give up on learning and becoming a successful trader one day, which taught me a good lesson, which is why I'm happy I finally found you. I have been learning the markets and how to trade for a while and finally started trading in November 2019. So for me, if you've been trading less than 5 years, you're brand new. People like come in with like 3, 4 years experience. It's great, but you're brand new. You want to trade for the rest of your life? How many years do you want to trade for? The rest of your life? Yeah, 3 years is new. I joined the Newsbeat live room in March. And I can say I'm doing well understanding and executing your strategies, but in the back of my head, I always have the big loss on weed stocks and I try to overtrade so I can make that money back, which is very toxic and it makes me do bad trades. Any advice on not letting it bother me? Well, let's see what our licensed clinical psychologist has to say on this one. So, he joined in March. He's doing well, but he's afraid that he tries to overtrade because he looks at his account balance and he's trying to justify the previous losses he had in marijuana. His profits went up in flames, and he's trying to make the money back. So this is what this is what I would do here. First thing, and again, I can't legally tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I would do. First thing I would do is I would literally start a new trading account. Shut down your trading account, just refund it with the same money. Why? So you don't have to look at that negative P&L looming every time you look at your results after you turned a new page. When you turn a new page, you don't bring the baggage from that past with you. Yes, a lot of people, they turn a new page and some of the things they've done in the past will be part of their future. But this is one of those situations where your losses in weed stocks do not need to be part of your future. You could simply shut down your account, transfer all the money to a new account, and you opened a new book. It's like, the little rainbow, like the more you know, it's like ding, like the more you know. That will help you psychologically so you don't have to look at a red P&L. Considering you lost money on the marijuana stocks, I'm pretty sure that you were swinging them. Am I right, my brother? Were you swinging those marijuana stocks? Were you swinging? Everybody knows that you need to leave marijuana in the freezer unless it goes bad because it is a plant and it could grow mold, right? Well, same thing with the marijuana stocks, except they bleed and they had red bars and they started hemorrhaging down. Look, you can move on from those marijuana stocks. You can move on. The way it won't bother you is if you literally don't have to see it. Now, you're saying it's in the back of your head. because you have prior psychological toxicity. Making small gains again and again will help you overcome that. Another thing is to think of it like you wouldn't be in our service right now if you didn't start trading in November 2019, if you didn't lose money on marijuana stocks, and it didn't lead you to find us here. So think of it as a positive journey that, yes, you might have been driving yourself to your new family in the Newsbeat promised land here, but maybe you got a flat tire along the way. Maybe, your car broke down, you needed it to get fixed. Think of it like that, get it away from you, and it will allow you to move on. He's saying here, he's saying right here that I should accept the loss and move on. But for a student, that is a lot of money. It is. I know I'm on the right track. I just need advice how to not let the past experiences bother me in my trading now in the future. One of the things that I talk about so explicitly and commonly is keep pictures of people you care about and love around you. Keep pictures of things that you love around you at all times. Keep it around you. Like, so for example, right over here, I keep a picture of my son. He's literally the Tasmanian devil. Don't keep a picture of your ex-girlfriend near your screen, your ex-boyfriend near your screen. Seems somebody literally clipped the video on YouTube. Somebody shut our video off on YouTube. Okay. Prick. Um, so somebody's already trying to sabotage us. How lovely. Anyway, moving it. No, I have no drop frame. Somebody literally just shut the video down. Funny. Anyway, maybe somebody has access to our backend. Anyway, moving on along. He's saying that he should accept the loss and move on, but for a student, it's a lot of money. He says he knows he's on the right track, but he doesn't want the past experiences. The point is, don't let it be in front of your face. Don't surround yourself with negativity. Me, I have the photos of David W. behind me. They're a little hard to see because the room got a little bit darker there. But those are the things that make me happy. Surround yourself with things that make you happy, and you will be happy. Okay? All right? Open up a new account, transfer your money into the same type of account as before, but make it new. That is what I would do for myself. Okay. Every single viewer got dropped magically. 100 viewers got all decided to coincidentally log out simultaneously. It was a concerted, planned effort. Anyways, I don't care. Anyway, I move on. Right over here. Let's see. Next email. Hi, Mark. Thanks for landing on this group learning paradigm. I find listening to other people's issues has been profoundly beneficial for me. Exactly. You know what? Answering your problems has been profoundly beneficial for me too, as I feel an emotional resonance with the other people in the group and normalize my own struggles. I am a 75% consistent on 60 plus trades at one contract in the last month. I got to this level through a long period of frozen, fearful trading where I rarely could enter trades even when I knew they were good setups, even though I was only risking $200 to $300 maximum. I still freeze on one or two entries a day, but clearly I am making progress there. So here's a trader who is struggling, actually is batting a high percentage, is not eating or drinking the Kool-Aid where you could bat 50-50 and make 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 or 4 to 1 like every other liar on Wall Street that destroys the lives of 98% plus people around them. Here is the problem. Weak hands. All right. Right away. Right away. Weak hands. One of the things I do for weak hands, check this out. This is actually a medical grade thing. Would you believe me if this thing cost 150 bucks? It's like one of the medical grade ones, not like the little cheap ones. And like for weak hands, oh yeah, that's what does it for me for weak hands. It's like one of the greatest things. I keep it by my desk. That's how I have strong hands. You want to know how this man gives his wife a good foot massage? Exactly. Oh, I'm still on YouTube. I don't know why all the viewers left. Anyway, thanks for sharing that. I'm glad that nothing shady happened. I figured it because it was always I've never seen that before. Anyway, I took to the here's the problem, weekends. I took to heart the 10-cent challenge and having a hard time letting go of it. I'm very good at the one and done where I get in and out quickly. I like the ADMA bounce as it is also quick. Look, if you like all these strategies, they're offered to you for free in the description of this video. You do not have to join the open house to watch it, but I highly suggest you watch the video and join the open house because you're actually going to see the way we apply it to Newsbeat names, which drive the highest consistency. And the only way you could do that is being part of the open house or in the room and watching the video. Mark 5 and Know Your Limit 8 on the 5 minute are very, very challenging. If this sounds like a foreign language to you, that is okay. That is okay. If it sounds like a foreign language to you, that's okay because inside the video, I teach it to you for free. I have a very intense impulse to sell out for 10 or 20 cents and miss big, big moves. This is the most common thing for people who are turning consistently profitable in the room, by the way. This is their biggest thing. By the way, I love this thing. Oh, man. Love this thing. Um, Helps me defend myself against my wife's attacks. I have to, Anyway, in general, the result is that my losses 15 to 20% are often bigger than my wins, 10 to 15%. I get shaken out on small dips and I wind up annoyed that I left dollars on the table when I took a dime. I know this is a psychological hiccup that will let up just the way the fear of entry did. Curious for your thoughts. Many thanks and big love. All right, so what happens is this is very common where people try to prove to themselves that they can actually start making money and then they actually start making money and then they look back at the trades they made money and they watch it go up without them. And you were taught on Wall Street that you did something wrong because you obviously have to cut your losers short and let your winners ride, which is a whole load of baloney because it's like me telling you, well, when you go and this is what you do. When you play the lottery, pick the right numbers. Leave the losing numbers out. You'll laugh at me. How am I supposed to know what are the right numbers and what are the losing numbers? Exactly. And how are you supposed to know which stocks are going to keep running and which stocks weren't? Oh, I guess I shouldn't know that. But that fake guru over there who can, trade 100,000 trades a day and do well for himself and you know, can't help anyone, if his life depended on it. Um, he told me otherwise. Here's my advice for what I would do in that situation if I was doing it without legally advising you, of course. This is what I would do. Once you start, don't change anything you're doing. If I was at one contract, once I start proving to myself I could do it with two contracts, three, four, especially when you hit four contracts. Because after you hit four contracts, you'll be in a position where you could sell three real quick and hold one. Record your results on that one contract. You could actually do it cheaper with shares if you want to take literally like one share of a stock. You're generally not going to lose a lot. And you could literally see what happens if I held this one contract. How far would I go? Record it 20 times. Did you make more money when you held that contract? If that's the case, hold a little more next time. And prove it to yourself that you're not just having the amygdala. Oh my God, the psychologist in the room is just going to be sitting there. He's already sitting there. I could tell right now. He's already sitting there in like a $700 suit that looks like he got it from the Salvation Army. And he's sitting there with a notepad, like writing notes on, So tell me, Mark, how does that make you feel? And he's just sitting there taking notes. Check this out. The amygdala in your brain is literally storing the point where your amygdala is literally storing the point where you are watching the stocks that move up and remembering that the stocks kept running up after you sold them, but you are clearly forgetting what are the names that you sold out, and the stock pulled back and crapped and defecated upon itself, and you were a genius for selling early. That that you're forgetting. So prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself that you will make more money by holding. Prove it. And that's what I would do. All right. So those are the S marks. Do we have people from the open house in this room? Is anybody who's in the open house want to ask a question? This smoothie has been spiked with blueberries and mangoes. Didn't do the algo levels yet, Ken. Fayaz. Mark, what do you think about setting a hard stop loss and taking profits and living by them and eventually getting to the point where you said keeping runners? Is that okay, or will you bring about toxicity of hitting certain marks at all time? Um, I mean, look, you could set a hard stop if you want. You could take profits if you want, but if you want to keep a runner, that's fine. Usually I keep runners. My point is when I make a trade, I want to be up money no matter what. If it wants to keep running, sometimes I'll hold a runner and it could do it with me, sometimes without. But when you see people consistently making money in this service, it's with that mentality. So eventually, Fayaz, you're going to have to prove that to yourself. Well, do you have a strategy for splitting accounts trading versus options versus long terms? Yes, the strategy is have your day trading in one account, have your long terms in another. Here's the psychology behind it. And I know our clinical psychologist is going to fall in love with me, and I know he could bring value. Check this out. Here's the psychology about having all the trades in one account. You ready? Here's the psychology. You come in the morning, you're up $2,000 from your, let's say you have it all in the same account. You're day trading the account you swing in, right? Long term. You come in, your P&L is showing $2,000 up. It's okay. What if you lose 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks? You're still up 2 grand, even though it's unrealized, right? You're still doing good. But what if you're down 2 grand? You come in the morning, you have a fresh start. Excuse me, you have a fresh start, and you go ahead and you see all of a sudden you look and you see a red P&L. You see a red P&L. Now all of a sudden you got to make the money back. What money back? You didn't lose any money. What are you talking about? What money back? What money back did you have to make? So like my point is ultimately is that you really didn't need to see the negative 2 grand and you're already going to be trading on that 2 grand. You're already going to be trading as if you are actually down $2,000. How is that beneficial for you? Now you're going to be over trading, you're going to be down, and nothing happened. Keep your overnights will be toxic for you whether you are up or down money. Don't let it hinder what you're doing. Keep it out of sight. You want to hold it for a year? Try to keep it as out of sight when you're intraday trading as possible. What's your opinion about vertical spreads? It seems it's net zero for a long time. Depends what you're doing a vertical spread in. Are you talking like a call spread, Lavenchi? Is that what you mean by vertical spread? Excuse my ignorance, like buying calls of one strike and selling calls of a higher, for example. Okay, so one of the things we actually did is we actually just called a vertical spread. I'm going to tell you this very calmly right now for the Newsbeat members in the room. If I call a vertical spread, it's going to be right 80% of the time or better. It's going to be right 80% of the time or better. Here's the last vertical spread I called. Lemonade 8110 call. And by the way, this is July 17th, 3:16 p.m. for Newsbeat Live members. Lemonade call spread. Did I do the call spread? No, I just went ahead with the straight $100 lemonade calls, LMND. You want to know how cute this company is? They offer pet insurance for your dogs and cats, like health insurance, like insurance for your health insurance for your pets. How do you not love this company? How awesome are they? Anyway, it was more mainly because of the stock setup, not because the company is just awesome in that aspect. Okay. Um, so that's just one example. I hear what you're saying, especially when the market is grinding, that some of these things don't work. Um, Not to sound conceited, but um, I was being modest when I said 80%. Let's leave it like that. From recently, I was being modest. Now that number could change, but I was being modest. And I don't say that lightly. So the question is, my opinion is they're great if you're doing the right name. And I just used one that we threw out on Friday as an example. And you could track it for free. $10 for an 80-110 call spread in lemonade. See how it works. Don't take the trade, but just track it, okay? And again, that's one example, but take my next 10 and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, or rather, record my next 10 and write them down and you'll see what I'm talking about. Mark, how long do you advise to keep the runners? Hours, days, etc.? Depends on the trade, Tony. Depends on the trade. Was it something that you were planning on overnighting? When are you comfortable letting go? What's a good profit for you? Where do you think it could go? What were you holding for? Too many questions. Sarma, when will you come to know the reversal levels and how? Do you consider current day's movements into the picture? Yes. So how do I call reversal levels? Usually through algorithmic trend lines. Usually through algorithmic trend lines, like the Qs and the spiders, and we give the algo levels daily, 5 days a week, not 7 days, because there's no trading on Saturday and Sunday. That's some places where I keep reversal lines. Intraday, yes, intraday as well. Like for example, in this environment, R3 resistance has been a very good indicator for a reversal, a topping out reversal to the downside for a short-term down move. And I mean, are you talking longer term, shorter term? On the daily, I'll do longer term. Intraday, I'll do shorter term, but I use several. Um, but you're saying when will you come to know? Right now, like I am very aware of levels where they reverse. If you actually um, I'm not sure it'll happen this week, but a lot of times you'll notice that I come inside the room and I'm like, this stock bottomed here, this stock topped here, etc. Jet, I'd like to focus on one name at open in their first hour. Will you be going through your top trade at the open? I'll be going through the top names I'm watching at the open. A lot of times, Jet, people will try to pick one name. Depending on how it sets up intraday will depend if I trade it or not. You are making a mistake for the following reason, and you're doing something good for the following reason, and I'll explain it to you. You want to focus on one name. It's easier, it keeps you more focused, and you get to track one trade, which is easier than watching 9 names. That's the pro. The con is, what if your setup just sucked early on, and you want to, let's say you want to buy a stock, gaps up, and as all the criteria you're watching, maybe I give it to you, all the criteria I'm watching, for example, and then all of a sudden it just starts plummeting, it acts weird early on, and then I just don't want to buy it. Are you going to be hell bent on buying it because that was the name you're focusing on? Or will you be willing to let it go and move on? The trader who hits consistency will do the latter. It's okay to focus on one name early, don't get me wrong. It's not okay to force a trade and thinking that the trade owes you money because you are focusing on one trade early. And it's not okay to force a trade in a stock that you are focusing on early just because you are focusing in on it early. Well, agreed. Thanks. The other problem with commingling trades is sometimes it just makes it harder to track and follow along those lines. What would you recommend for max open plays at one time? Again, that is based on the individual. I love the gurus out there who will throw out 5, 10, 15 names at you as a swing name and they manage them all, but 99% of traders can't do that. It gets to a point where the market's moving you, not You're not you lost control of the trade. No, but you have stops in. Like you're not supposed to get stopped out ever, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lie. Maybe you're not supposed to always hit your take profit target either. By people who trade like that and have that mentality, they're delusional and idiots for the most part. Not because I'm putting them down, because they assume that, look, all right, you could say that you want to make two or three and risk one. What if you buy something, you're up, let's say you're trying to make 2 to 1 is the most common scam in the industry. So let's say you buy a stock at $100, you want to sell it at $106 and your stop is $97. So you're risking $3 to make six, right? Common scenario. So you buy it at 100, the market's going up. Your stock 101. You're holding 102. You're holding. Then all of a sudden, some news comes out, blah, blah, blah. China US trade deal, blah, 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 blah. Not happy, blah, 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 blah. China not happy with the deal. And then you see the market plummet. Are you going to sit there when your stock goes from 102 to 101.50 and not sell it? Now it's at 101. Are you going to hold it for $97 as the market's plummeting on a news headline? Really? You're just going to sit there and hold it because your stop hasn't hit yet and your take profit hasn't hit yet? Are you really going to do that? The market is all about changing direction. I like to think of the stock market as my ex-wife in the Staten Island Mall with a credit card. She could go anywhere at any time. She could be looking to go in a store. I could catch something else. She goes right over there, swipe, swipe, swipe. That's how trading has to be. When I go in a mall, it's like, I need socks. I beeline to the sports store. I buy some ankle cut socks, which are the best, and I leave. Trading is all about changing your mind at any given moment, at any given juncture. So if you're sitting there, I mean, how many max open plays at a time make you comfortable? What number? So let's just ask in the room right now. Let's have a poll. I'm going to have a poll right now. Max number of trades you are comfortable with. Because here's the fact. Here's the fact. Every single trade you take makes you less comfortable. So the question really you're asking is, how comfortable should you be? What are the max number of trades that you're comfortable with? For me, max number of trades I'm comfortable with? 2. I mean, I've been doing this job 21 years. Now, have I been in positions where, like long-term swing-wise, I could hold a lot more because I'm not looking to manage them. Now, just keep in mind that most people will not be comfortable with many trades. Some people are, some people aren't. But here is a fact, even if you are comfortable with a multitude of trades, the more trades you slap on the table, the more likely you are going to lose control. The little bit of control you give up. Fact. You'll manage one trade better than you'll manage two, better than you'll manage three, four, five, etc., all the way down to infinity. Okay, let's post the results. So 18% of you won, 33% two. Okay. So here are the results. You could see them in the alerts window. There you have it. So again, the real thing is, what would I recommend? I'd recommend whatever you do best. And that's another thing I want to point out. My service is not about my way or the highway. My service is about the journey of helping you literally identify what you do best. This is not a room where I'm going to open up your mouth and try to fish shove a dozen strategies down your throat and tell you to like it. If you could follow my room and you find one thing of value, and I literally mean one thing that you like what I do that helps your trading, this service pays for itself in spades. It's about helping you discover who you are. Not the BS that Wall Street lies to you. Not, Are you an intraday trader? Are you a day trader? Are you a swing trader? All right, yeah, you're all a bunch of different human beings with different backgrounds, different strengths, different weaknesses. We're going to put you in one of 3 or 4 baskets here. Again, and when Wall Street does that, it sickens me to my stomach because they're so full of BS. It's just, again, if you want somebody to lie to you, I promise you you're in the wrong place. Just go to every other room on Wall Street. If you don't like what we do here and there's no value for you here, you will be an exception to the rule, but I respect you. I respect that. So there you go. There's your answer. Do you know any successful trader who never uses stops? How successful, Kishore? I'm a successful trader. Well, never uses stops. I sometimes use a stop. Now, I know some people are like, never use manual stops because of blah, 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 blah. Here's the truth. You should never get stopped out. Almost ever. You can. I mean, I get stopped out and sometimes I put in a hard stop, but I don't always put in a hard stop because I'm ready to sell my entire position. Now, if you're managing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades, you need hard stops without a doubt. If you're managing one trade and you have your finger on a market order ready to sell in a thick name, you can manage it, right? Do I know? I know thousands of successful traders who don't use stops. Just look around you, Kishore. Deepak. Hello, Mark. I've been trading for over a couple of decades now. Back in 2000, I once went long stock and it went down. I turned around and went short and it went up. This happened for 3 round turns. I lost almost $7,500 in 7 minutes. That memory haunts me and prevents me from trading successfully. How do you suggest I get over it? Wow. Through cleansing your psychological toxicity by doing winning trades. The problem is trading is not about mathematics. People will come to you and they'll say, "Oh yeah, you could bat 50%, and if you make two and lose one, and you risk $500, $100, $1,000, $2,000 per trade, you'll make this much eventually." But they don't talk about the psychological toxicity in which you are referring to, Deepak. So yes, the way you get over it, small, consistent trades, winning over and over until you know that you have grown from what you're doing. All I can tell you is you are absolutely in the right spot. Asking a question right like that, you are absolutely in the right family. Demo account what we do, grow confident, make money, become another statistic of a very successful trader here, is my advice. And that's what's going to do it. See, normally I'm supposed to say, well, how do you prevent that? I need you to move past that. I need you to look positively into the future. That's a lie, Deepak. You want to know how you get past it? Consistently profitable trades from this point forward with a proven methodology that works in the current trading environment. Watch my master video. I'll give you those strategies. Demo trade all of them, demo trade every single one, find out which one you do best, not well, find the one trade, the one strategy you do best, do that strategy over and over. And from a scientific standpoint, your amygdala grows as you get toxic. Some of the people who can come back from wars, their amygdala literally turns into the size of a golf ball. Your brain actually increases in size. It's kind of crazy to think that your brain can increase in size in a negative way. Normally the amygdala, it's a walnut-sized portion in the brain right here. But by actually relieving psychological toxicity, I'm actually, from a scientific standpoint, trying to decrease the size of your brain. How ironic, right? Mark, I just started here wondering, how can I learn the technical terms so I know what to invest based upon trade instructions? Watch the master videos, Tony. Hang out here. Don't trade. If this is where you want to, if you want to trade for a living and you want the highest chance possible on Wall Street to become consistent based on everything I've shown you, build yourself from the ground up. Watch the master video, hang out in the room, and you'll become acclimated real quickly with our terms. Pierre, I am a part of the strategic swing trader class. I'm not familiar with options. Will Mark be going over options or stock during this open house special? I trade both, Pierre. Hi, Mark. TC2000 is the platform you're using. Correct. I went to their website and there are options to get optional data feeds. Is it necessary to subscribe to data feed? I just want the charts to be able to do the trade. I sign up, Jay, for the cheapest thing possible. You want live data, but you don't need any additional data. You don't need like I think the index data and stuff. I can literally just one moment here. I could literally just show you what I pay for. I think I'm not sure if I'm on the cheapest package or the second cheapest. You don't need anything. Hmm. All right, so my services, I'll just share this with you. Here are the services I use. So, 14.99 US real-time data fee, just that one, just the top one here. Gold, I pay $300 a year. And I don't include any of these things. The additional alerts, you could do that if you want. I don't do live briefs from the news wires. I don't do Dow Jones Index, just the 14.99 in gold. That's it. Okay. I'm only seeing a 5-second delay between YouTube and this room. Watch this whole show on my large screen. Okay, appreciate that, McRockin. How do you know when to cut your losses on the current wife? No comment. Um, Alright, thank you for the max here. You're right. I've lost control when I've gone over 8 exactly. Well, I have a problem question. How do I enter a trade going bull on the way up correctly? I try volume as an indicator with candle patterns. Um, how do you enter a bullish trade correctly? I mean, there's depends on the strategy you're trying to do. Watch my master video. I talk about several ways to enter bullish trades correctly. Definitely key, sure. Master video is in the chat and in the description of this video. Feeling is mutual, Louie. All right. No doubt, Camille. Much love as always. All right. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this orientation. Happy trading, make money. Hopefully, I'll have time to do the levels. I had no time today to do the levels for the orientation and everything. And we will see you guys tomorrow for the open house.